are back, and we are grateful that you are with us tonight to go through the last edition for the year 2015. And on the table, we have two big issues to discuss. And we have representatives from the NDC, the NPP, and the PPP. On my immediate left, we have Honorable Timothy Atabuade Awuntirim, former MP for Bulsa North. Honorable, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Eko Jones is in the middle. He's a member of the PPP's communication team and GN Media.
Yes.
Okay, good. Eko. Eko, I think this is the first time you're on my show. Warmly welcome.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be
all right, and then yes, we have Joseph Asamoah Gyamfi, who is also a member of the NPP communication team. Gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us to do justice to the topics on the last edition for the year 2015. And you're on checkpoint if this is your first time. Now, in the week under review, His Excellency President John Mahama launched what you can call a book, which is supposed to be an account of what he has done in terms of stewardship. We're going to look at that, and then we look at the lingering energy crisis that should or we have been promised would go away by the end of the year, and the year is just a couple of days to end, so we'll be looking at that as well. Now, let me begin with you, Honorable Timothy Atabuade Awuntirim, former MP for Bulsa North. You are coming from the camp of the NDC. Did you make some contribution to that book that was launched?
Yeah, first of all, let me say good evening to Asamoah Gyamfi and to my friend Eko with the PPP. In fact, for the first time that I've seen Asamoah Gyamfi using the name Joseph, I used to call him Asamoah Gyamfi. I don't know whether, you know, the J name rings a bell, and when you have that, it can really easily usher you to become a president.
Is that so?
Yeah. And
there's a story of Joseph around also,
yeah,
Mary and Joseph.
In fact, his new name, Joseph, I think I would want to wish you Merry Christmas. I don't know whether because it's coming to Christmas.
Let's celebrate Christmas.
He's decided to be called Joseph. Be that as it may, I want
Joseph
to say Merry Christmas to you, Merry Christmas to everybody, and to our cherished viewers. Certainly, you couldn't have chosen better topics than what you've put before us for the digest this evening, looking at the fact that these are the most important issues for the people of Ghana to look at, and also to assess the performance of the government over the past 3 years, notwithstanding the fact that at the beginning we had challenges of the pink sheet issues that took almost 8 months of the government's time and precious time for that matter, eating into the 3 years that would have gone fully. But be that as it may, and by the diligence and hard working of the president, we've gone ahead and even moved beyond the expectation of the people. And I want to use that to congratulate the president and his hard working team. You just said that the president indeed launched a book on the project so far so good that he has been in office for the past 3 years. I have been the contributor to the book on grounds that when the book came up, I looked at the projects from Upper East, and I saw that in my constituency 3 prominent projects featured. And interestingly, they featured my projects too when I was there. One of the projects was the new library that we built.
Library?
The library.
Okay.
I cut the sword for the construction of that library. And then the
when you were MP, how long ago was that? How long ago did you cut the sword?
I cannot get the exact time, but they featured some of the projects that we did.
Okay, and what else? Apart from the library?
Including a nursery and then a kinder. That is from my part. But I was even look at the fact that my projects alone that I was able to do during that period and up to now alone could have even covered more than 5 or 6 pages if they wanted to concentrate strictly constituency by constituency.
The library,
library,
the library, day nursery, and something else.
Yes,
3 of them.
And then the head teachers bungalow.
Oh, okay.
The SS bungalow.
Okay.
And that was the Bruton of constituency. In fact, my own project that I did is even so overwhelming for the past 4 years.
So was it all about projects?
Yes, certainly. I am looking at it from my angle. There are other parts of the book that talked about employment, that talked about the energy, that talks about the issue that confronted. But it was geared towards looking at the manifesto, what we promised to do to the people, and what we have done, what we are yet to do before the 4 years tenure ends. And when you look at the sector by sector, you would have seen that on the part of health, the present, the book clearly depicted pictures of completed projects, polyclinics, and even projects that are ongoing, for instance, the REACH, and then the 650 bed capacity project that we are about to complete at the University of Ghana is ongoing. The Tamale Teaching Hospital, the first phase is completed, and so on. I think most of the regional hospitals are under that, has been captured there.
Okay.
There are a lot of them that I cannot go single, but then but when you look at it, it's a colossal development there. When you look at the education sector too, we talked about over 1,000 nurseries, and then our secondary schools, we haven't yet gotten to a target of our 200, but we are about
11 months away.
Yes, and that it is spread, it has various stages of completion. You look at the water sector that we've been able to ensure that previously some communities in Accra here, for instance, Adenta, Teshi, Nungwa, that were completely lacking water, have been provided water. The coverage has increased from about 55 to over 70%. Electricity accessibility to the people of this country has also increased beyond the 75 mark to about 76 and so on. In fact, apart from South Africa, within sub-Saharan Africa here, Ghana is the only country that has extended electricity accessibility to its population for over 75%. You look at construction of housing for the public sector workers too is also ongoing. Some have even completed, so say for the security services and also for the public sector too. We look at those areas too, and a lot of development issues that have been captured there. But I know the major issue that confronted, which will come there, is what people
we'll come
looking
to
at. But if you look at it, and also the fact that within the, when you look at our manifesto, chapter 16 of the manifesto, we talked about the fact that the 1992 Constitution makes a provision for free secondary education progressively to the people of this country, for which I think government has already done that. We've provided a lot of other social policies like the school feeding program.
I'll let you end here and take that as your initial comments. We'll come and pick the salient issues one after the other. Okay. So let's move quickly to Echo Jones. Well, Dr. Gobels, I'm happy to have you on the show, Gobels.
I don't know whether
now, please let me have your let me have your initial comments on the president's account for his stewardship. Jones.
Okay. I think that now the saying is a Merry Christmas and a branding New Year.
Okay.
So I wish to wish everybody a nice a Merry Christmas and a very branding New Year. We are going to brand the year for what it has been done with throughout, and it is very difficult for Honorable to even enumerate the projects that he is talking about. He is wafting between day nurseries to kindergartens to chicken coops, well, guinea fowls.
No. He didn't mention any chicken coops. He mentioned library.
I'm talking about, those are that,
library, kindergarten,
and then
something else.
And then
No. A headmaster's bungalow.
Yeah, that was to my constituency, not the nation.
You are interjecting. When you were talking, what you said didn't really.
I'm not talking now.
No, Honorable, I'm here to shape the discussion. So I think I've told him what you said.
Yeah, so
and which is correct. No, so three things.
But it was in reference to my constituency.
Three things: kindergarten, bungalow, and then dynasty or library.
Yeah.
Fine. Please go ahead.
While the time is passing by, you added to mine.
Certainly.
Dynasty and to his constituency, and then the president is building hospitals at Ridge and Tamale and so forth. I'm not too old, but General Ike Achampo, who was shot around the 16th of June 1979, was a military head of state in this country. Even he wasn't constitutionally elected. I can tell you about most of the estates in Ghana under his regime. You go to Mauli Estate, you go to Kumasi, Kwadasu Estate, you go to Koforia, Adrisu Estate. Tamale, the estates are there. That's a military government. We talk about low cost housing. What I'm trying to say is that President Mahama stood in Parliament before when he was in 2008 and called the building of infrastructure as an exercise in mediocrity. And so if you are going to tell us that the 3-4 years you have built hospitals and you have built and so on and so forth, the question I'm asking you is it from your pocket money or it is from the taxes that the people pay? And the taxes that the people pay go exactly to do these things. And so I don't really see why he's expecting us to come and stand on top of Mount Zion and clap.
Well, granted that it is public money that is used to build this infrastructure. What is your own assessment of the president?
I was at I'm in Fee West. This is recent by-election.
Yeah, the by-election.
That's a cocoa belt, and this cocoa belt, all the way, the whole of Amenfi West. There's galamsey going on, gold digging in Amenfi West. The Kano River itself has been polluted as much as the marine life in there is dead. The people who live in these communities, you look at them and you ask yourself, is there a future for our nation? Because these are people who, you see that the men are now, they don't have any hope. All they want is, they tell us, it means that even the conscience itself for being a member of a nation is gone. The roads that go into this cocoa rich district, rough roads, the dust blows so much that the cocoa trees have become red. But just because there was a by-election, quickly people are going around trying to fix things. And that's exactly the kind of mentality that, subsequent governments have put in their heads. Let's wait when it gets to election time. And we are going to this, then we can brand some cars, put some pictures on it, and everybody know that we are doing a good job. If you are doing a good job in the nation in which we live, when you wake up and people ask, the majority of people wake up in the morning, and the first question they ask themselves, what are we going to eat? Instead of what kind of, if there is work, if there are jobs, it will show. People will wake up in the morning with hope and motivation that they are waking up to go somewhere. But the state of hopelessness in the villages, the children, you go and see the children. There was one incident where one child the two children were fighting over an opened sardine can. And it could hit them, but then, you do sardine, and that's the rest of it. And the kids, I ask myself, are these also the children who one day are going to become the ministers of state, the assemblymen, and peradventure one of them comes through such a hard road to become a police officer, an army officer or something? Most of the time, all he's thinking about is how hard their lives have been. And as though they don't belong to a nation. But like Bob Marley said, in the abundance of water, the fool seems to be thirsty. And our leaders, knowing that our people are mostly illiterate, would not even, you're talking about secondary schools at various levels of completion. You go there and find out that most of the lands that are earmarked for secondary schools are in dispute. Is that part of the various levels of completion we're talking about here? You see, sometimes the holiday, the problem with Ghana is that we seem to enjoy holidays. I ask myself, what are we holidaying about? What are we Christmasing about?
we spend the whole year working, and then only 2 days in a month we eat chicken and rice, and all is forgotten.
I take it that your assessment
position,
of the stewardship of the president is nothing to write home about. Okay, abysmal. Okay, thank you so much. Asamoah Gyamfi, what is your take?
I really felt sorry for the president when he was speaking. I clearly remember he was the first to have said that every government's duty is to build roads. Every government's duty is to build hospitals. Every government's duty is to build schools. And so in 2008, he said that it is an exercise in futility, mediocrity, for anybody to compare governments based upon projects. So I was asking myself, why is he doing this? Because prior to that, a similar book that they have published, and the President Kufuor regime, a similar one was published with cost.
2008.
Yes, but we did it in 2004, and we also did one in 2007. We costed, we marked out district by district projects that have taken place and the amount of money attached to every project. So when the citizen picked that book, he could tell that this school was built for X amount of money. Sadly, in the case of President Mahama, costs were not attached to it. He said, and that's my worry. And that's what the people of Ghana must know. That in the entire 70 years of President Mahama, the total amount of money that has come to him, when I mean total amount of money, that is proceeds from cocoa, income tax, from gold, from oil, all of these processes that have come into their hands in the entire 7 years is estimated at 200 billion cedis. It is estimated at 200 billion cedis. As against that of President Kufuor of 8 years, the total amount of money that came to his hands was 20 billion. So when he was mentioning it, the second thing that came to my mind was what is the cost? Because if you estimate, under President Kufuor, an amount of $1.2 billion was used to construct 4,440 kilometers of asphalted roads. Okay? 1.2 billion cedis was expended on 4,440 kilometer asphalted roads.
And do you know how much we are spending on
under their regime? They have spent 1.9 billion on 740 asphalted roads.
And this is 7 years down the road?
7 years. In their 7 years, asphalted roads that have done is 740 kilometers. And
have you taken time into account inflation and all
it is in
intervening?
It is in dollars.
Oh, okay.
It is in dollars, not in cedis.
So there's
our inflation has nothing to do with it.
All right. What else?
Okay. So clearly,
yes,
he's taking so much, and I've delivered on little. Look, my brother, last week I got shocked that our army, as it stands today, is indebted to suppliers to the tune of $270 million in cedis. Why? Under normal circumstances, the military must always have a reserve of money, so that if there is any emergency, they can use that money to start before government can throw in. As we speak now, with all the amount of money that has come into the hands of President Mahama, government is indebted to the extent that our military is even indebted. So, to me, the phantom man said, "We'll try a cabaret."
Okay.
Cabaret means that the thing is 10 cedis. He's come to sell it to us at 100 cedis. And yet he's trying to tell us that he has done well.
I'll ask Honorable Attabuade to, justify.
Some of the projects that he mentioned
was
not started by him. The what do you call it? Awoshi Pokwasi Road. The loan was secured under President Kufuor. Contract awarded. You only come to cut the sword, and you are claiming that it is yours. The TVET project. That he said we are training technical people. The grant was secured under President Kufuor in 2006, and the project started before you took over.
But he finished it.
No, it is not. I'm saying it is a learning project. It's a project that is meant to train artifacts and something. So it is not done under you.
Okay.
You get my point? You are saying you are coming to account from the people. You must account from your people 2000 and what you have started. You don't come and say you are continuing someone's project, or because it fell into your hands, you take credit for that.
How do you reconcile that with the phenomenon of abandoning projects?
It's not about abandoning. The money has been
people
secured.
Want to.
There was no way President Mahama could have abandoned the Awushimala Road because the loan had been secured. Contract has been awarded. It was not, the loan was not secured under your regime. You do not award the contract, so you don't claim that as yours.
Okay.
You understand? The same thing happens to the TVET thing. That one is a grant from the World Bank and Danida. Okay? Began under President Kufuor, so you don't come and claim that as yours.
Okay, I'm going to dig around other issues, especially employment. But I'd like you to begin. I've noted some questions that I need to ask Honorable Attabuade when I come to him. What is your assessment of employment? I heard the president talk about this initiative to provide skills to young people and some grants to help them start work and so on and so forth. What is your take on that?
You see, there's one fundamental thing that the president doesn't understand. That until and unless we get interest rate lowered.
Interest rates?
Interest rates lowered. Until and unless we have a stable electricity, there is no way employment can be created. Okay? So all that he's talking is just talk. Until and unless, look, when they took over, interest rate was 17%. As we speak, it's 35%. There is absolutely no way that even a bank will call any, what do you call it, a small-scale person and say, come and take money. Because he knows that at the rate of 35%, you can't pay.
The risks are high.
The risks are too high. And the interest rate has gone up as a result of government excessive borrowing from the banks. So if government will not cut down its expenditure and reduce its pressure on the banks to borrow from them, how do you expect employment to be created? Okay? There are too many job opportunities, that is true. Another area is agriculture. That is the area that holds the potential to employ a whole lot of people. But what have we done? Agriculture was growing at 6.5% when they took over. It is now growing at 0.04%.
They say it is not their making.
But who? Who? They should give us the reasons. We used not to have fertilizer subsidies. You know that? It is President Kufuor that introduced it. They have crashed it. They have crashed it. Now a farmer needs over 120 Ghana cedis to buy a bag of fertilizer.
Okay.
And so when it happens this way, how are you going to encourage people to go into agriculture? Or even if I'm motivated on my own, with my own skills and talent, to want to go into some form of manufacturing or some kind of production, because of the high cost of interest rate and electricity, there's absolutely no way that I can survive. So if government does not get the macroeconomic fundamental right, there's absolutely no way jobs can be created. The Dumso problem that we've gone into it for the past 4 years have really brought industry to its knees. Industry is virtually growing at -% because of electricity. People are being laid off because of electricity. And as we speak now, we do not know our fate as to when exactly we're going to get out of this Dumso crisis. Okay. So with this kind of situation, there's absolutely no way that employment can be created. Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you very much, Asamoah Gyamfi. Now, Honorable Attabuade, there's one issue I'd like you to get out of the way before you speak to the employment one. Asamoah Gyamfi is charging that you have just compiled a list of projects, and if you want to be truly accountable, you would put numbers to the projects in terms of cost so that everybody can verify and say that, well, this is value for money. But he alleges that you have raked in, a lot of money, close to 200 billion, cedis, and you have just presented this list of items without telling us the real cost. What's your take on that?
Yes, my take is simple. You see, first of all, from my brother Jones, who said that whether the money was coming from the president's pocket. I don't think that is the issue. We know that Papa Kwesi Nduom is a businessman. He's one of the well-to-do people in this country. I don't think that if he becomes president, he's going to use his wealth to develop this country. Bill Gates is one of the richest in the world. If Bill Gates becomes president, he's not going to use Bill Gates' money to do that. Today, Trump is looking to get a ticket to run as the Republican president, and we know how wealthy.
Just a second. Hold it there for a second. I'd like you to step back for a moment. They also allege that the President Mahama, before he became president, charged the previous president that it was an exercise of mediocrity to say that you have used public money to...
I'll come there.
Okay.
I'll come there. You see, today Donald Trump is gunning to get the ticket of the Republicans to become their presidential candidate should he win.
Putin says he'll be a fantastic president.
We know Donald Trump is an estate...
real estate tycoon.
Real estate tycoon. He's very rich. If he becomes the president of the United States, he's not going to use a penny from his money.
Point sufficiently made.
So that issue should be thrown aside.
Yes.
Secondly, if you went to Amenfi, I think I got it right, the by-election.
Amenfi West,
Amenfi West, and you saw children fighting over a empty sardine can, I think it hasn't taken anything from. We've all fought over them up to date. We keep to fight. I've fought over anti-sardine cans, and I know Lula da Silva, who became the president of Brazil, was a shoeshine boy. And when you look at the history of our presidents, even Nkrumah was washing dishes when he went to London. You look at all our presidents
I think that he was talking about some stark poverty that he observed, and not the little challenges that every young person would face.
I know what I'm talking about. You see, it has not even find its way into this discussion.
It does.
It does not at all. Absolutely no way that you go into a village and children are fighting over can and comes talk. Who doesn't know about the problems of poverty in this country, and that governments over time ago have been putting a policy to arrest the quantum of poverty in this country.
So what is your reality?
My reality is that
what's your reality?
We are discussing these things, we should move away from some of these propaganda messages.
These are real aspects. Things happen to people.
My brother,
Jones, allow him to speak.
And then, and then as Samuel talked about a debt. You see, public debt and debts that government has accrued, you must be able to distinguish between state institutions that government has incurred debt on them that can pay for themselves, and other public debt that will take a time too. And then debts are not all that bad. Don't let us look at countries owned to be that bad, because even the United States, a super country in the world, still owns China. China also owns the vice versa. The globe also, the whole globe owns. But if those debts
but they all add up to the GDP.
If they can be accounted for, that is the issue. As Samuel talked about, we've taken 200 million, according to you,
billion cedis. That's how much has come into
and that you are asking us to have attached the cost of the various projects for it.
Yes, that will
Look, these are public documents. These are issues. No. Please, you were talking.
You say you are accounting to the people. You
Please,
don't come and show me pictures.
Please.
Show me the picture of the rich hospital.
Let me tell you.
$400 million.
Let me tell you.
Which of this is cost
the rich hospital?
Yes.
The rich hospital.
Yes.
The loan we took from Bank Hapolim from Israel for the 650 the 650 bed capacity was over 200 and something million dollars for that one. The one at I was even a member of Parliament. Remember, I was on the health committee. We did it. I cannot give you the committee over 200 million. The rich hospital to do this. I was part of the committee with his with his people.
Well, he's only saying that if you are accounting for something and you put a list of things, you should just put the numbers there.
As someone knows, Auditors General reports, Parliamentary Committee, once the issue is laid in Parliament, it becomes.
You are to count.
You've talked. Let me make my point.
Allow him.
My point, Asamoah. Look, These are issues that are public document. Go to Auditor General, they are there.
Well said.
Go to the tender documents,
let's make progress. Let's make progress. Please.
Once a project
you have
has
provided
been
the answer. You are saying that it's a public document for everybody to see. So let's make progress. Let's make progress.
Become a president.
Is that so?
Yeah. And,
there's a story of Joseph around also.
Yeah,
Mary and Joseph.
In fact, his new name, Joseph, I think I would want to wish you Merry Christmas. I don't know whether because it's coming to Christmas.
Let's celebrate Christmas.
He's decided to be called Joseph. Be that as it may, I want
Joseph
to say Merry Christmas to you, Merry Christmas to everybody, and to our cherished viewers. Certainly, you couldn't have chosen better topics than what you've put before us for the digest this evening, looking at the fact that these are the most important issues for the people of Ghana to look at and also to assess the performance of the government over the past 3 years, notwithstanding the fact that at the beginning we had challenges of the pink sheet issues that took almost 8 months of the government's time and precious.
Thank you. It's a privilege to
all right, and then yes, we have Joseph Asamoah Gyamfi, who is also a member of the NPP communication team. Gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us to do justice to the topics on the last edition for the year 2015. And you're on Checkpoint if this is your first time. Now, in the week under review, His Excellency President John Mahama launched what you can call a book, which is supposed to be an account of what he has done in terms of stewardship. We're going to look at that, and then we look at the lingering energy crisis that should
time for that matter eaten into the 3 years that would have gone fully. But be that as it may, and by the diligence and hard working of the president, we've gone ahead and even moved beyond the expectation of the people. And I want to use that to congratulate the president and his hard working team. You just said that the president indeed launched a book on the project so far so good that he has been in office for the past 3 years. I have been the contributor to the book on grounds that when the book came up, I looked at the projects from Upper East, and I saw that in my constituency 3 prominent projects featured. And interestingly, they featured my projects too. When I was there, one of the projects was the new library that we built. The library. Okay. I cut the sword for.
We are back, and we are grateful that you are with us tonight to go through the last edition for the year 2015. And on the table, we have 2 big issues to discuss. And we have representatives from the NDC, the NPP, and the PPP. On my immediate left, we have Honorable Timothy Atabuade Awuntirim, former MP for Bulsa North. Honorable, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Eko Jones is in the middle. He's a member of the PPP's communication team and GN Media.
Yes.
Okay, good. Eko, I think this is the first time you're on my show. Warmly welcome. We have been promised we would go away by the end of the year, and the year is just a couple of days to end, so we will be looking at that as well. Now, let me begin with you, Honorable Timothy Atabuade Awuntirim, former MP for Bulsa North. You are coming from the camp of the NDC. Did you make some contribution to that book that was launched?
Yeah, first of all, let me say good evening to Asamoah Gyamfi and to my friend Eko with the PPP. In fact, for the first time that I've seen Asamoah Gyamfi using the name Joseph, I used to call him Asamoah Gyamfi. I don't know whether, you know, the J name rings a bell, and When you have that, it can easily usher you to